Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here. In this video is going to be talking about Warlock in Midnight S1 rating, looking at each fight, like raid testing of it, and talking about what spec I think is best there, Demo, Destro, or AF. Spoilers, there's no AF. And breaking down why I think it's good, giving you a bit of an analysis as to why that's that, and yeah, just going from there. A couple things before we get into that, though. Very briefly here, I have a link to this spreadsheet down below. This is one that I made. Sorry for the flashbang. This is the 12.0 Midnight spreadsheet. I updated it, well, today, basically, with expected specs in each fight. Spoilers, I mean, I'll talk about it in the video here, too, but watch the video. But there's talents here for each build I would roughly play in that fight. These very well will likely change, just based on, you know, how the fight ends up playing out and so on over the next few days. Diabolus Destro is currently bugged. You can physically play the spec in the raid, however, it's not exploding diabolic oculi when you consume rituals in instance content. It will work on dummies. We're hoping Blizz fixes this before Tuesday, like basically being tomorrow or today when this video comes out. If not, you can't play Diabolus Destro. But regardless, you're probably going to see a lot of Hellcaller in the raid due to the recent changes, but there's that. The spreadsheet has bosses, builds, links to testing, talent builds, gearing, which replicates, or I guess it's the BIS gearing from the profiles and stuff, all that kind of stuff. The website also has talent builds in here if you want. You can go under S1 Raid, 3+, add-ons, profiles, whatever. They're all up to date. If you want to hop under here, grab them, click the button, which imports talents for each. You guys will see the red lines. You guys will see this. Click them, import. There you go. There's raid testing of all these. And we're going to shamelessly plug here very briefly because we have indeed launched merch on the channel. For those that haven't seen, we have THD... a bunch of THD or I guess you can say derp apparel, shirts, THD sweaters. It's a Christmas sweater, but not an ugly one because THD's on it. It's a very pretty sweater. Hats in multiple colors, socks, mouse pads, mugs, various things, as well as these badass playmats that are like full, you know, desk mat size, Fellfire Destro, regular Destro in tier 6 with Dog on a Stick, very nice. Affliction in tier 5 with Uthalesh, and also Demonology in tier 3 with Demo Dogs, various sizes, all that kind of stuff, as well as wall arts. If you guys want those, links to the spreadsheet, the website, and the merch down below in the video description. Now, let's get it going. I also forgot to mention that I am indeed casting the Race to World First for Team Liquid again this tier. I talked about it in Discord on a stream, but if you guys haven't heard that, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be streaming from home for Heroic Week, heading out for Mythic Week and all that. Stream times, everything shouldn't change. Should have the same amount of videos coming out and all that too. So heads up if you're interested or curious about that. That is happening again. I'm very excited. Getting into the video, so Chimeras is the one boss raid. This is in the Dream Rift. I'm just gonna bet this is a Demonology boss. So we played all 3 specs over the course of Alpha and Beta here. There is a bit of like stacked ag cleaves. You can see here where Swarming Shades coming in if you go downstairs, and this large colossal horror ad, which when they reach, basically when they break their shields, they go upstairs. And the upstairs group has to kill them before they reach the boss and give him a stacking damage increase. There's a bit of ads in the intermission as well, and the boss himself is just a patchwork, I mean not patchwork, but he's single target based. Obviously you want max boss damage while efficiently cleaving down the ads. I'm thinking likely this Demonology here. You can get like good Implosion cleave, good Doomguard cleave, a Doom cleave if you want to play more of an AoE based build. You might do a weird hybrid build playing Implosion into Hell and Back with like still playing like Charhound or Purple Dog. But either way, I mean, the boss, every time he goes into the sky in the intermission and lands, he gains a bit of a stacking damage increase as far as like him doing more damage. I believe he spawns more ads as well every phase. I know that for sure. So the faster you kill the boss, the easier it is. You can see right here, you can get decent AoE value on this fight. So it just sort of depends what your guild needs. I'm assuming this is just Demonology. There could be a world where you're playing Destro with Cataclysm and Havoc cleave, Cat of the small ads, Havoc the actual ad, and blast the boss. I could see that, but I feel like with the timings of the ads not being incredibly, they were okay for Destro's cleave profile with Havoc being so long and the cooldown being like pretty short comparatively to duration. They're probably both fine, but I would likely give a bit of an edge to Demonology here just based on timings of the fight and pushes. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Destro here either. Sort of just depends where it ends up landing in the long run. So once you end up killing Mr. Chimeras in the Dream Rift, you head into the Void Spire, likely, I'd assume, based on difficulty. And Imperator Aversian is going to be the first boss you encounter. This is a tic-tac-toe boss. You can see on the room behind us, there are basically 9 spots. He's filling 3 spots with 3 X's or whatever you want to call them. Basically, you kill 2 of these 3 ads, or I guess break the shield, whatever, with the spells on them, and there'll be 1 ad left up when the 2 dispels go out. You're going to end up moving out of that, and the last spot will be filled with the ad you basically cannot dispel on top of, filling 1 spot on the board. There are going to be ads that spawn in every so often, which you AoE down, and the boss is sort of dragged around with the group to have these spells come out on these ads. You will indeed cleave that ad down the back and kick it as well. I could see both specs being played here. You can get a lot of good Destro cleave on the large Void Shaper that spawns in there, or the small ads that come in here. Throwing a Cataclysm down, having a main ad, and blasting the boss seems really good. The Atlas Destro looks good here. Hellhauler looks good here. I could see Demonology here as well for stat cleave. Big implosion damage to hell and back value, and you're back on the boss burning him as well. I don't think, I mean, well, for the most part, there's not opportunities to maximize Havoc Cleave as Destro on this fight all the time. Like there is basically on Nexus King Salhadar, or on a fight like the Dragon Boss in this raid, which does make me lean a bit more towards playing Demonology in this fight. Demo is a bit better in a single target, can still play a stat cleave based build. If you want to shift into Implosion over like Power Siphon, it's still more than likely doable. Like, even though these ads are spawning here, I can't cleave these ads right now. They're all shielded. Once we dispel on this ad, boom, shield breaks. Well, should break. Yep, breaks there. And it's taking no damage. You move out, and when it ruptures, it just dies. You can't really cleave it, right? You're going to start cleaving potentially the 3rd ad in a matter of 10 seconds here. So you're not optimizing or maximizing on Havoc usage, basically. You're not hitting it once on cooldown and getting guaranteed cleave every half a minute. It's like I can cleave once every basically 45 for 20-ish seconds, not permanent Havoc scenarios. So I'm leaning a bit towards Destro here, getting big ramp on these Void Maws spawning as well, obviously pretty strong, depending on how it lines up with your Tyrant and such. I wouldn't be surprised to see Destro, but I'm going to lean a bit more towards Demonology here. As far as AF's concerned, I mean, AF's in a spot on every fight this raid tier where if you want like Seed and Sow and big AoE value, you can play it, but you have negative single target damage because you have no Unstable Affliction modifiers. So at this point, I mean, spoilers ahead, I don't think we're playing AF in any fight unless they buff it heading into Mythic, and if they do, that'd be sick, but not holding my breath. So here, I'd say likely Demonology on a parity version, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Destro. And in the end, it's the first boss. You can likely play whatever you want, including AF, and kill it pretty easily. Voracious is the 2nd boss you will likely encounter in Voidspire. It could be 3rd. I believe you can go to Nexus King Salhadar or Voracious. I don't know the pathing on the raid. I could be wrong, but he's early on regardless. This is going to be like the predominantly patchwork, Taros-esque boss of the raid tier. It's going to be, I mean, you basically single target until he spawns small ads, which you have to kill on top of the walls on the left and right, which he spawns. See in a minute here, to break the wall, run through and dodge his Godzilla breath that he launches. You can fully range that circle effect as well if you stand behind it as range, if you have a 30-yard range, I believe, in your abilities without having to move at all. So don't be like me. I'll learn that later on, and there you go. This is, like I said, pretty much a single target fight until he spawns the ads in. The ads will randomly fixate players, and they didn't have a crazy amount of health. I'm leaning a bit more towards Destruction on this fight, though, because you do need a lot of like precise cleave. If you are playing Shadowburn and Destro builds currently anyways, if you get random procs and ads, you're able to Havoc the boss. I learned you can stand back there. That's pretty sick right there. Havoc the boss and the Shadowburn down ads when they get low on health in general is pretty strong. And Destro single target is not bad in the first place. Here come the ads spawning in. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a lot of Destro play here. Put a Kata down on someone, they're stacked towards the wall, and kill them in a fashion where they break to the wall pretty much. I could see Demonology here as well if you just want more like stacked, like I guess stacked general cleave versus more precise Havoc cleave. But these ads do need to die in a fashion where they're near the wall. If that circle they're leaving when they explode doesn't hit the wall, it will not break the wall, and you can't dodge the boss's Godzilla breath whenever he cast it. Well, in about 5 seconds here from us half dying in this intermission. So I would lean toward Destruction, but I could see Demo here pretty easily as well if your guild is fine with Ag Cleave, because Demo is a bit higher in single target, and this is predominantly a single target fight with a bit of stacked Ag Cleave randomly. Now, if you're a Demonology fan, I have bad news for you. That's likely the last boss you're going to play Demonology on for the remainder of the raid tier, unless it is Crown of the Cosmos or Midnight Falls, which are not in this video. You can play it in other scenarios, however, Fallen King Celatar is a tried and true just Destro fight. This is like Rodden from Nilotha and things. You've got these larger concentrated Void Ads spawning in, which Destro is really good at cleaving, with Havoc being 20 seconds now, with improved Havoc. And there are constantly, always targets to cleave, whether it's the boss in a large ad or 2 large ads. Whenever the large ads die on Mythic, they leave behind like little orbs in the ground, and whenever he brings in 2 new large orbs, the ones you killed previously spawn smaller orbs. So the longer the fight goes on, the more and more smaller orbs you have, every large void adds spawn. So you want Destrolox and Cleave classes to control the actual larger orbs. They have a lot of health, need to be cleaved down. We're also burning the boss down in his damage amp window, which is about every minute and a half, give or take. But it's a big ad cleave control fight. There's Area of Denial. If you fall behind, it's very hard to catch up. As you can see, there are 2 small ads spawning there and 2 larger ones spawning here as well. The concentrated ads have to be killed in a staggered fashion. They apply, I think, a 6 or 8 second debuff that has to be basically healed through, and it does stack. So if you refresh one by killing orb number 2, when the first orb's debuff is going to fall, you have a 2 stack for 6 or 8 seconds again, and it's a lot of damage. So concentrated, controlled cleave is what this fight is about. Welcome to Destrolox damage profile. Honestly, if you're going to play a different spec here, it'd probably be Affliction, having the ability to dot the other orbs as well, because it's such a spread out kind of fight. But with Aff's tuning and stuff, and how it's a bit of a slower spread cleave class and all that, this is a Destro fight. I mean, you can play Demo here, sure. It doesn't really matter, like in early heroic stuff and all that, but in Mythic and things, this is a good Destro cleave fight from a prog POV, and likely a good fight from a damage POV in general too. You can constantly farm Havoc cleave. With the recent changes to Hellcaller, Wither got Black and Soul got nerfed, but Malevolence and Chaos Bolt got buffed a lot. This looks to be a very good Destro fight. I'd say more so a Hellcaller Destro fight. Both would work if they fix the Abalist, but my money is on Destro pretty easily. Belgor and Ezerok, I believe, is what the name of these 2 dragons are. It actually is. There we go. Yep. If you like Destro, hey, great. Another Destro fight. They are spread out to the point where you cannot, I don't believe you can hit them with Mayhem here in this fight. I'm not sure. They're moved around a bit, so you can't guarantee where they're standing exactly. But these are two targets that are active all the time. Destro, Mayhem, lasting 20 seconds, a half-minute cooldown. Very strong. You're playing Destro here. I mean, you either play Destro or Aff in this fight. You can't get stacked Demonology Cleave, barring the ads spawning in here and imploding them and things like that. But as far as boss cleave's concerned, Destro. You can just Cataclysm these ads down here, a bunch of Withers rolling. Havoc cleave, whether it's Hellcaller or Diabolus you play, leaning Hellcaller at this point, looks to be exceptionally strong here. Affliction, once again, like, I mean, the profile of Aff has value if you can get Sow the Seeds value in those ads there and big dots in the boss, but the unfortunate part is that you really choose one or the other with Aff. If you choose a AoE Sow the Seeds profile, your boss damage is catastrophically bad because UA is dramatically undertuned. You can't get both UA modifiers and Sow the Seeds basically in the same build. Destro fight here, I think, through and through. Big Destro cleave, Havoc profiles, and yeah, you can get stack cleave on these orbs here as well with Cataclysm. Maybe a Rain of Fire too if you have the time, but honestly, yeah, I could see Diabolus being played here if it's fixed in time. Being able to queue up Pit Lords and things with Ruinations for those ads reminds me a lot of Araz, which is queuing a Ruination and holding it for the ads to spawn and padding a bit, but hey, they gotta die somehow, right? Just like me. So, in-game, obviously. There you go. That's what I'd say. Destro, Dragons. Don't think it's very close. Here we have the Light Blended Vanguard, which is also 3 permanent targets over the course of a fight. I'm casting Cataclysm here, which guess what? You're going to be casting too. Another Destro fight. Hopefully you like Destro for the past 4 tiers, because we have Demonology and Aff being 2 really cool specs that got overhauled in Midnight, but we're not playing either of them on most of the raid because Destro is Destro. Jokes aside, this could be a Demonology fight. All 3 specs do have value here. I think you probably end up just playing Destro here with Mayhem. So the way that this works, there are 3 permanent targets here. When the boss ultimates, they rotate through their ultimates when they reach 100 energy. They will jump away like this, and you'll drag the other 2 bosses out of the circle. So you still have 2 stack cleave targets regardless. It's either 2 or 3. This is likely just a Mayhem Destro fight. If they fix the bug with improved Havoc, giving you like longer duration of Mayhem and actually duplicating spells for full duration, That's awesome. You can get probably almost full Havoc uptime here, or Mayhem uptime. If it's not fixed, we'll see where it goes. You could play AF here. There's been speculation on playing AF Solar Seeds build and just spamming Seed the whole time, similar to how we did on Demon Hunters in pre-patch. There are 3 stack targets for a decent bit of the fight. Even in 2 targets, I mean, Seed casting is still pretty strong and still worth doing. A lot of shard gen, 3 targets as well, patient 0 value and all that, but unfortunately Seed is bugged with a new bug as well, which is starting to square root damage at 2 targets, not 8. So that's fixed. That adds value to AF. If not, we'll see where it goes. It depends where UA lands, if they buff it for Mythic Week as well, for, you know, 2 versus 3 target, like scaling versus Seed and all that. Also, potential value in playing Demonology here. Demo's profile is very good at stat cleave. You play a Doomguard base build here. Doomguard every minute and a half-ish, rotating Dooms and the bosses, all cleaving. Most of your builds just stat cleave, imploding on cooldown, imp gang bosses, to hell and back. This could be a Demo fight. I'm going to bet on Destro, just because you maintain Wither, you cast Chaos Bolt on 1 target and it cleaves. It's way less involved compared to Demonology, juggling multiple Dooms and imploding every 10 seconds and all that stuff. 15, whatever, you know. But either way, all 3 specs have value here. I think on the surface, you just play Destro, but being real, all 3 look decent. And if you're gonna try and give AF a shot, this is probably the fight to give it a shot. But I think it's gonna be worse than Destro and Demo. And the last boss we have here today is Mr. Beleren. He is the first boss in March on Quel'Thanas. Worth mentioning, Midnight Falls is the last boss of Quel'Thanas. It's the boss after this one in that blue circle in the back of the room. Not tested. Not talking about it in today's video. Crown of the Cosmos is the last boss in Voidspire after Light Blinded Vanguard. Also not tested. Not talking about it in today's video. We'll see where it goes. I'll update the spreadsheet and website on this stuff when we get there. But either way, Mr. Beleren is the boss we're looking at right now. So there are a handful of mechanics in this fight that involve soaking colors. If you're like light and void and all that kind of stuff. Pretty cool fight. As you can see, there's a void ember running around. Unsurprisingly, this is once again a pretty good Destro cleave fight. Look, I'm cleaving on that void ember a bunch. Mr. Beleren is close to dying. The bird spawned an egg. I'm cleaving there again as well. Destro cleave, very exciting. When the boss reaches 0, he jumps to the middle and goes into his egg. When the egg is a single target burn phase, which when the egg dies, the boss dies. But if the egg doesn't die in the intermission, the boss heals back to full, comes back, and begins spawning more adds and eggs and all that stuff. It's rinse and repeat for the most part. So if you need like a lot of single target emphasis, I can see Demonology being played here quite possibly for this egg burn. If you can just kill the birds and the smaller eggs in phase 1 with other classes, sure, that could be a thing. But with Destro being as close as it is in Sims, like 7 or 8k off in single target, and having a much better like spread cleave profile with Havoc, just all that, and even like Shadowburn spam cleave for when the egg reaches sub 20, you can just spam that while running and dodging its colors here. I think this is a Destro fight. Again, back in the phase 1, the boss is up. You're gonna have a bird or 2 spawning in here again. Whenever it does, you Havoc the boss and turn to the birds and start cleaving them with Havoc. Controlled cleave Havoc fight, likely better than Mayhem here due to like when they spawn. Once again, there are 2 birds spawning in now. You can cleave them if you want. Either Havoc one, blast the other, Havoc the boss. Get big bird cleave here, they die. You gotta soak the eggs. There are more light embers coming in here as well. Soak these, you can even kata those if you're playing kata. And that's more or less it. You rinse and repeat. But once again, the cleave in this fight is not stacked cleave. It's like spread cleave. They could be stacked at times on top of the boss, but you can't guarantee that. At the same time, for Affliction's POV here, I mean, it's not stacked cleave, so C doesn't really do much. And as far as like spreading UAs on multiple targets, I'd rather just cast Chaos Bolts. They're just better. That's just better. I love AF, want to play AF. Unfortunately, if you're trying to play in like a more competitive setting or the best spec in the fight early in Prog, it's going to be Destro here. Or maybe Demo if you need more egg burn. But for the most part, Destro, Chaos Bolts. Name of the game currently heading into Heroic Week. So, yeah. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully the video gave you all a better understanding, or at least a general look at how Warlock is, at least we're expecting Locke to look heading into the first, well, week or so of Midnight S1 rating. Honestly, I think Locke looks pretty solid. Profile-wise, tuning-wise, looks pretty good as well. Even though Demonology is simming the highest, we talked about it a bit in this video, doesn't mean you're going to play it every fight. there's sims and there's actuality. There's sims and there's damage profiles. And a lot of fights this raid tier are spread cleave fights, or like stack cleave fights, in a sense of, in a way of where Destro is still very strong. Demonology is good in stack cleave too, but a lot of Destro value this tier. I was hoping to play Asp, but unfortunately, well, that's what it is. Not bugged, undertuned, all that. What can you do? So, that's that. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully gave you all a better understanding of that stuff. And yeah, if you want add-ons or profiles on the video, links to my website up here. You can get them all up there, as well as down below in the description. And like always, a massive thank you to my supporters on Patreon. For all support, guys, thank y'all a million times. Like always, I greatly appreciate y'all and all support. Without it, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. I make content for y'all, and yeah, I appreciate y'all. Heads up, I am going out to the Race to World first to cast for Team Liquid again. This coming raid tier, and I'll be heading out like next weekend, so I'll be here streaming from home still for Heroic Week. I'll be streaming from the race as well, so things really shouldn't change a whole lot, but I'm excited. Hope you guys are too. Alpha and Beta flew by. Man, we're raiding again. That's crazy. Lock in, because here we go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Peace.